Hello and welcome to the next D.O.A.F.T. And this D.O.A.F.T. is going to be Murderer's Row. This guy made a run last year considering how bad that team was before the season started. I think he's going to have to do the same thing again this year. So, how's it going to work? Find out now.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Godfather speaks.
Murderer's Row. Andy, I always say this. If you're going to have a team like Murderer's Row, and I love the team name, then we need to mash the ball. So you got Cruz, you got Pujols, you got Ortiz. We're mashing, okay? Mesoraco could mash. We're hoping he's healthy. I guess we're going to see. After that, there's no mashers, okay? Now we got mashed potatoes, okay? Pedroia is good, not what he used to be, but still capable. Belt, good, capable, but we haven't seen the power. David Wright, great player when he plays, but he just not gonna be able to play every day with his back issues. Tulo, if he played all year, great, but with Tulo, we especially playing on turf, I think asking for 140 or more games is asking for a lot. I like the offense. I think it's good. I think week to week you could beat people because you have stars. But they're aging stars. They could be not healthy. And in Pujols' case, it's not really looking that promising from the beginning of the year. So, I think we've got some holes there, and there's no depth. So there's some work to be done on offense. Pitching staff, I would say the opposite. For as old as your lineup is, your pitching is young. And it could be filthy. It might not be this year, it might be next year, but there's some real talent here. But here's the problem. Your pitching is maybe soon ready or going to be ready, but your hitting is only going to get worse because it's getting older. You've got to figure out what you want to do here, because by the time your pitching has arrived, your hitting's going to have left on another ship somewhere else. Closers, I like what you have in Jansen and Rosenthal. I personally think Storen has a huge year, and a lot of people don't see it, but I do see it. So I like your closers. I think there's potential in the pitching. I think you have weeks that you're going to win offense because I like the names, but I don't like maybe their age and where they are in their careers right now. So I think it's a playoff miss. But I do think there's potential with this team if the pitching would step up and if you made some adaptations to your offense.
Ira's Island.
Okay, we've got Murderer's Row. yeah, that sounds scary. I felt scary right there. Anyway. Okay, if Albert Pujols, Nelson Cruz, and David Ortiz have their marquee full season great stats, and Matt Holliday and Tulo all have the years that they're all capable of, yes, this could be a top tier offense. But all that's not going to happen, okay? And you also have to add in there that you've got a lot of question marks on the bottom end with Mesoraco, Jackie Bradley, and Trevor Story. If all these guys do perform the way that he thinks they're going to, okay? Yes, you could have a top-tier offense, but unfortunately, I just don't see that happen. I think you've got too many guys who are too old, too many injuries. There's a lot of things that could go wrong with this team. So, I have this ranked as the 8th best offense because I think there's going to be problems with the age of this team. Over to you. The sleeper might be a funny choice in some eyes because he's been around for so long, but I think in the fantasy in the fantasy realm, it really is a sleeper for this year. And I think it's David Wright. If the Mets handle his injury the way they should and don't let him re-injure himself to the point where he cannot play, he's never going to be David Wright of, 5 years ago. But he can actually put up pretty decent numbers, especially in the batting average and doubles kind of categories that could really help for a third baseman. So I'm going with David Wright as the sleeper.
Juan Nicasio has a career ERA of 4.88 and a career whip of 1.47. Just because he's had a fantastic spring does not mean anything. And owning Juan Nicasio is the reason your team will be absolutely dreadful.
And now we have Murderers Row, which would be a great team name for a team that doesn't have pitching, so I think it suits it well. If the Yankees win 110 games this year, I do expect great things out of Murderers Row, because you have Tanaka, Pineda, and Sorvino. Oh my! That sounds like a Mexican hat dance or something. But whatever the case is, the Yankees will not win 110 games. Therefore, those guys are solid pitchers, but they are not elite. They are not top of the level, top of the line pitchers. And then to go along with those three, you have Keuchel and Liriano. Now, I know that you could say that Keuchel won the Cy Young, but you have to do it twice, man. You have to do it twice. You can't just expect that. So you have to expect natural regression with both Keuchel and Liriano, because Liriano was out of his gourd last year. So, okay, after that, we have Paxton, who cannot stay healthy. So, I have this rotation very, very low. I have it as the 9th best pitching staff, but there's always one that's worse. You know which one that is. No, this team is a bunch of old heads. Translation, this team has old players. Need I translate everything?
Bust.
The bust is Trevor Rosenthal. His whip last year was crazy high for a closer. If he lets that many people on this year, he's not going to close. I'm sticking by that. I think by the end of the year, Rosenthal may actually lose his job. So, bust, Trevor Rosenthal. Next, we've got Murderers Row. He is a middle of the pack bullpen. You've got Kenley Jansen and Trevor Rosenthal, both very solid closers for a few years now. Then you've got Drew Storen, who is changing leagues, but I still think that he can be very dominant up there in that back end of the Toronto bullpen. And then finally you got Herrera, which is a top-notch holds guy for Kansas City. So I've got him at the number 5 bullpen. So the number 5 bullpen for Murderers Row. Okay, now it's time for Murderers Row. Murderers Row. All right, up and out. You know what we need to do? We need to do. Oh, look how fast you are! Oh, you're in a very fast move. That's great. Okay, we're going to mix it up, and oh, look what we get. Oh my goodness, we have this because he has a very old team and he's going to need something to support them because he's so old. Do you get it?
Yes.
Do you understand? That's
Yes.
good. All right, come here, just say bye. Say bye. Look, if this team can be the 2008 All-Star team that it is, and those guys can perform to that 2008 level, there's about 5 guys on this team that could really, really make it take off. They could be like a 4th place team. I could see that happen if everybody stayed healthy, but I just don't see it happening. I mean, with injuries and age, just regular decline because of age, I just don't see this happening. It's going to be a 9th slot team unless there's moves made, and hey, everybody can make those moves, but going into the preseason, I see it as a 9th base team. 8 more to go. We can do it. Put your back into it.
Oh yeah.